What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Keeping It EPL, where me and my friend over here, Matthew Selz, go over everything going on with our picks in the English Premier League. We are getting hot and heavy, Matt Selz, aren't we?
We are in I would say the beginning of the meat of the schedule of the
Yep.
Premier League. Unfortunately, we do have a 2 week, an international break coming in 2 weeks. That kind of puts a pause on things, man. I'm getting tired of these international breaks already.
They got to qualify for the World Cup, man.
I know, but it's just like every time things get started, it's like, oh, here comes another 2 weeks off. I mean, it does help if you have injuries or whatever, but like the stop and start for the teams that are trying to find consistency is just not helping.
And right now you have teams like towards the top of the table that are doing Champions League. They're doing cups in between,
Europa.
and it's just
Tottenham and Man City played yesterday in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Liverpool played as well, and
Yeah.
here we are. So it's grueling, and it gets worse as we get after this next break towards Christmas time, or Boxing Day, if you will.
Yep.
And
then the
really
FA
grueling.
Cup gets added in just for kicks too.
Just for shits and giggles.
Basically. Although I would take the FA Cup over the Carabao Cup.
Yes. Don't tell that to Liverpool last year, though.
It's all right. Their teenagers already forgot about winning because they're too busy on TikTok.
Probably. We had an interesting match week this last weekend. Very interesting, actually. How do we do on our picks? I think we were down at one point. We were back up. Then we're down again. Then we're back up. How do we end up doing?
We finished. We lost. We lost $13. So there's not great. The last game of the had our bets gone our way, the last game of the week, we would have been plus money, about plus 28 or so. Instead, didn't really go our way. So yeah,
great week. The biggest disappointment, I think, was the Aston Villa Bournemouth game. I think Aston Villa was a big disappointment for us.
Yeah. So funny, in the Liverpool game, we had all of the correct people having goal contributions. We just didn't give them the correct goal contribution.
Oh, you're right, because we had assists and goal on this.
We had Diaz scored, he got the assist, and then we had Saka assisting, but he got a goal. Then we had Saka getting an assist, but he got the goal.
Yeah.
So we were right on the goal contributors. We were not correct in the way in which they would contribute to said goal.
We could try that again, but earn the goal or assist. Yes, it's not plus value normally, but that would have been the way to go. But hey, we were there. We were on it. We were on it for sure, and we're going to be on it this week. Again, I think Aston Villa were the big losers at home, drawing with Bournemouth. One I think to me stands out. Man City, man, they're moved to the top of the table, but they're not scoring goals. 1-0 against Southampton, a Southampton team, which more on them later.
And then Man City also lost Savinho.
Yes.
On Wednesday, he got carted off. I don't know exactly.
Yes.
It didn't look great, though.
It did not. Anytime you're carted off, or I guess carried off in a weird device, it doesn't look great in football. So more injuries for them. And it's just, they're on top of the table, but they're not going to run away with this.
No.
I think Liverpool and Arsenal will stay relatively close and make this a 3-man race again, which we want. We want that. We don't want the winners celebrating 3 weeks before the last match week. It's never fun to see that. So I'm kind of excited for that. If I had to rank them right now, I would say 1A, Man City, 1B, Liverpool, and then 2, Arsenal. I think Arsenal, they have weaknesses as well they're showing now.
Yeah. I think they are the most susceptible one to injury in terms of can they keep goal scoring coming, because right now it's basically Saka until they get Odegaard back, a couple other pieces. They will get some defense back, but then they lost the defender. So it's, and I would trust, I know Slot is new, but Liverpool has, I think, more depth.
It took guts to do what they did to draw 2-2, man. To be honest, they should have lost that match. Arsenal should have won that match. They would think that they had blown 2 points, Arsenal,
Correct.
in that match. So just getting that point, I think, was huge for Liverpool to show that maybe they can win the title this year. I know they're down a point to Man City right now, but we just talked about it, right? If this Man City team and this Liverpool team were to play right now against each other, I think Liverpool would win. The stronger, deeper team.
You have to believe that. I mean, Man City's missing De Bruyne still. They're missing Savinho now. Haaland hasn't been great since Rodri.
And Rodri's out for the year.
Yeah, so he's not coming back.
Yeah.
Their defense has been tested a little bit more than.
And they're just not scoring goals at the level that we're used to seeing these last 4 or 5 years. It's when they're eking out 1-0 wins.
Phil Foden still looks like he's trying to find his magic to start the year. It's getting a little dicey there for Man City.
Speaking of scoring goals, you're Nottingham Forest. Where did that come from? What's going on?
I don't know, man. I wanted them to just the third one was nice, but save it for the next game because I think we might need it. Like we're playing
the team known for only scoring 1 goal and winning all year goes off on a tangent against Leicester City away and scores 3.
Yeah, and it could have been another one too. They had a couple other chances.
Chris Wood was just out of this world in that second half, man. He just
shot
out of a cannon.
10 goals this year.
I know. It was Leicester City's defense just went away in the second. I was like, hey guys, we got this 1-1. That's what we want. We're just gonna hold back and then
and this is, by the way, with Nuno still on the sideline because they're still, up in the seat because he's only 2 games through a 3-game ban for the red card he got against Brighton.
And Nottingham Forest was on a short week because they had a Monday night game into Friday.
The last game the previous week and the first game this week. So it was nice to see the rebound. And
it was.
The depth came into play. So that was nice going against your old gaffer and coming away with a resounding win. Not just like, we kind of eked away with that one. No, it was impressive.
And the game of the week, and we've been saying this for a few weeks now, the most exciting team to watch in the Premier League is Brentford, man.
That game was unbelievable.
Exciting.
My daughter likes Ipswich. She got into it because Ed Sheeran's a part owner. He's from there, so it makes sense, right? But then, they started watching, and the style of play that Ipswich plays with is very entertaining and, team. They're kind of like Luton from last year, where, their team defense and everybody, a gritty style. It's fun to watch, but, man, was that game.
It was 2 to 2.5.
Yeah, it was. It ended
up 4-3 in the end.
I can't remember. A friend of mine, I think, was watching the Man City Southampton game, and then he switched to the Villa Bournemouth game, and he's like, "Man, I am watching the wrong games. You guys chose the."
By the way,
game of the day to watch.
We saw it again, and we've seen it every week. A team goes up 2-0 in the first half and blows that lead.
Correct.
It happened again.
It's
and not just the lead; they lost the game.
Correct. They did tie it back up, and then they almost had it tied back up at 4 too.
At the end, after that penalty.
Very end, it went off had the cross been, I don't know, a half inch tighter, it would have gone in and not bounced clean off the far post.
Great game. Man. Great game. The game of the week. But I will give you your time now. I'll give you a couple minutes to vent. So go for it.
I will preface it by saying it's a good thing we're recording this on Thursday and not Tuesday, because my opinion has mildly softened.
Okay.
I was firmly Ange out at the beginning of this week.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he can't figure it out. He's out of his depth. He's getting everybody's figuring him out, and his team isn't picking up the system. They can't get out of their own way. But then they went out and they beat Man City, for what it's worth, without Haaland. Foden didn't exactly play very well, but it was still the Man City team that's been beating other Premier League teams and getting draws against top 4 opponents. And Tottenham beat them in the Carabao Cup with not a full starting lineup. They did sit some of the guys who are normal starters. So that was good to see. And then I heard Pep's reaction and saying that Ange is always hard to coach against. And whatnot. So I've softened a little bit. However, there's still got to be a lot more consistency because you cannot go across town. Let's face it, it's not a very long trip from Tottenham to Crystal Palace. I know it's from North London to Southeast. Not a long trip. You're on a bus. You don't have to fly. You don't got to go take a high-speed train. You're on a bus. Technically, you're sleeping in your same bed that night. You don't even have to stay at a hotel, right?
Yeah.
And then they go and they face a team who's literally in relegation battle, and not looking like they can save themselves, who lost to Nottingham Forest, and you go there and you play literally the worst game in, I don't know, 5 years for Spurs.
Yeah.
The way they looked was
they were out. They were outshot 14-11. Shots on target 6 for Crystal Palace. Obviously, they lost 1-0. Tottenham is what we're talking about.
Now, but Tottenham did put one off the post at one point that would have drawn it and saved a point somehow, although they did not deserve to win that game or draw it.
They did not.
And then Ange comes out after the game and says, well, they out-physicaled us. My system kind of works in a specific way, and sometimes teams just are more physical than we like. Why would you say that out loud? Why would you give a team
the categories?
Why would you give the entire league and the entire soccer world, because let's not forget you're also in Europa, right? The playbook for how to beat your system.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what they did.
It makes no sense. But then, the going into the Tottenham talking boards on, Reddit and having back and forth with reasonable Tottenham fans on Twitter, and looking at some tactical stuff, I've softened a little bit. I'm still not sold that his my way or the highway system will work, but we'll see. There are some transfers lined up for January. There are potential ones lined up for the summer already, including a U.S. men's national team member who may be making the jump. It's not Pulisic. Don't everybody get their hopes up.
He's a Milan savior right now.
There's Johnny Cardoso, who's at Real Betis in Portugal. So I'm still on the fence. We'll see.
Well,
the consistency needs to get better. You cannot go out. The other problem is he's won 3 times on the road in the Premier League in the calendar year of 2024. You can't do that.
Yeah, we are in October, the end of October for everyone listening.
Right. So you can't do that. And then when you lose at home, especially your arch rival by an own goal because you can't get a ball past a weakened Arsenal defense, you gotta work on some stuff.
From one coach you want fired, we have to move on to a coach that was fired.
He did get fired.
Our biggest winner, my biggest winner, and biggest loser combined in the same game. And we talked about this last week too. Yeah, we talked about this last week too. Is that West Ham needed a big win? What are they doing? Why aren't they where they need to be in the table? Where is this team that we think is talented? Well, they got that big win, and they not only did they beat Man U, they gave the last hog. The last hog is gone.
Yes, he has run out of hogs.
He has run out of hogs, and he has been relieved of duties.
Yes,
which we all saw coming.
Everybody saw it coming. Frankly, I think everybody in the soccer world is surprised at this point that it did not happen over the summer. Especially, if you're not going to fire the guy over the summer, you would think you'd give him till Christmas.
Yep. That's normally how it goes, yeah.
Give him a half a season, see if the stuff he said he was working on at the end of last year carries over and improves and whatnot. You fired him less than a quarter of the way through the season, right? Because we're 9 games in. The season's 38 games. It's not a quarter. So it's a little surprising because it feels like you missed out on some guys who may have been good for you this summer that now have jobs and are doing quite well.
Now, there were questions last year last season that he should be gone and not even start this season. But
the season started with how many games does Erik ten Hag get, and it turned out he got 38.
which
He's
is a
like
full
the
season.
Daniel Jones. He's like the Daniel Jones of Premier League coaches. Like everybody knows the guy should have been fired.
That's one full season, though.
I know.
Split between 2 seasons.
2.5. But like he's like the Daniel Jones of Premier League managers, right? Everybody knows the guy sucks. Everybody knows he can't hack it. Everybody knows he should be gone. Yet he's still getting paid to do his job, but not very well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, he's looking for a new one. So,
but yeah, the new coach they're bringing in, we'll see. Some of his tactics are a little interesting. I think they play well in the Portuguese league, where it's not nearly as deep or competitive. But we'll see. It's going to take some time. It's a totally different system than what
Ten Hag. It's a way different system, and I don't think the players for Man U ever really kind of bought into a system. Like the consistency was never there.
Correct.
He was using Rashford just wrong. For what he's done. Rashford plays for England and he's a superstar, but he plays for Man U and he's why is he way on the left side? It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So this is a good thing for Man U fans, trust me. But again, the system's going to be different. There's going to be some learning curves. So do not expect this new coach to just come in and boom, they're back to the top of the table. They moved down to 14th in the table.
Correct.
Man U is 14th in the table. They have 11 points in 9 games. That is, I think, the lowest they've been in years, or now, the least amount of points they've had in years.
To their credit, it is a very jumbled table from like 6th to 14th.
Correct. Yeah, one win and a couple things go their way. They're in 9th, 8th. So yeah.
Yeah, because coming into the week, Tottenham had 13. Tottenham's in 8th at 13 points, and you've got Man U at 14th at 11 points. So that's a 1 week difference, basically, if some stuff changes. But it's definitely concerning to see Man U that far down the table, for sure.
Yeah, and it is. And West Ham moving up to 13th. Remember, they were just in 17th a couple weeks ago. So
they had nowhere else to go but up, to be honest.
Yeah, so 2 wins in their last 3. So they're doing things right. That team is getting to, as we thought they would be, maybe in the top 10. I thought they'd be a top 10 team, to be honest. And they do have the talent to be a top 10 team. Yeah. But again, it's a jumbled mess there. Aston Villa blew it. They currently sit in 4th in the table right now with 18 points. That was a winnable game they should have won. You add 2 more, Aston Villa would be 3rd at 20. So it would be Man City 23, Liverpool 22, then Aston Villa at 20, and then Arsenal at 18. But Arsenal has that goal differential, plus because they're tied with Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I think they're the 4th best team in the Premier League. On paper, they should be. No one 2 years ago, if someone would have told me that they're going to be the 4th best team in the Premier League in 2 years and have one of the great young superstars, I would have been like, "You're high." Here we are.
They've made all the right moves in the last couple of years. So I'm just excited because there is a way in which Forest could end his next match week 4th in the table. There is a way that is possible.
I can see it because they sit at 16, and with the way the match is set up, I don't think more on Aston Villa when we do the picks. But
yeah, because Tottenham plays Villa.
Correct. There's 2 big games this week. One of them is not as big anymore because of what happened to one hog too far. Chelsea is a very interesting team. Now the only 2 teams that are on winning streaks in the last 6 who have not lost is Man City, but they're inking out wins by 1 goal or drawing, and Aston Villa. Everyone else has a loss within the last 6. So,
although I will contend that it was a bogus PK given to Fulham that cost Forest that win, but whatever.
That's true. That's true. They're there, but they're also not scoring a lot of goals until this last weekend when they just went absolutely nuts.
That's true.
But 3 goals for Nottingham Forest is going absolutely nuts, people.
It's like 6 for Man City.
Yeah, it's not supposed to happen.
No.
But it did, and Wood is just shooting his way up on the top players in the league too.
I think he's 3rd in goals right now in the Premier League.
He is.
Holland is stuck on 10.
No, he just got one though. He got the one that they got, I think, this last weekend, I believe.
Oh yeah.
I think he's at 11 now.
So he's at 11, and then somebody else.
And again, they got it early and just could not put anything together. Man City, like we talked about earlier in the opening of the show, that it's going to be interesting to watch. But obviously, they're ahead. Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, who has an interesting match this week. More on that in a second. Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham. Your boys are tied right there. But however, there's a 3-point gap between Forest.
Yeah, Forest is actually 3 points ahead of. With a 400, if you look at transfer market, Forest's roster is worth $400 million less than Tottenham.
It's true. And here we are. My new favorite team, Brentford, the most exciting team in the Premier League.
Very fun to watch.
Prove me wrong. Fulham,
they were way
surprisingly.
more likable without Ivan Toney on that roster, to be sure.
Yeah, no one likes Ivan Toney.
Yeah, well, that's why he went to the Saudi League, so nobody has to hear about him again.
Correct. Fulham, right up the top 10. Bournemouth surprising at 11. Newcastle at 12. West Ham moving up to 13th. Leapfrogging Man U. Leicester. Everton holding strong there. Only one loss in their last 6 for Everton, plus 2 wins and 3 draws.
Sean Dyche has the defense figured out.
Crystal Palace, and then the bottom 3, Ipswich, Wolves, and Southampton, all still winless in the Premier League. But Matt, when we do our picks in about 30 seconds, one of these 3 teams is going to win this week. One of these 3 teams is going to win this week. I know what you're thinking.
Well,
you're trying to see what it's going to be. One of these 3 teams is going to win this week. Shall we jump into match week 10?
Yes.
Let's do it. Newcastle is hosting Arsenal. It's another talented Newcastle team who was actually fun to watch last year, but got boring again this year.
Yep.
Arsenal, they're having injury problems like we talked about. Their defense.
You and I had some fun with their game this weekend with texting back and forth because Gabriel Jesus got injured,
and the whole game changed. Yeah,
the whole game changed, and then so I said, Jesus is gone, and you said there's a joke to be had here. 30 minutes later, they subbed in another guy named Jesus.
He has risen. That was pretty funny.
It's not even April yet, and he's reincarnated. He's back.
Yeah. Who's the home team? I never know because some odds have it. It's Newcastle, so the home team's at the bottom in this one. Okay. Arsenal's a slight favorite, minus 105. Newcastle plus 280, plus 260 on the draw. Are you comfortable with taking that minus 105 or minus 106, I guess, or even minus 110 and betting on Arsenal in this one and just calling it a day? I kind of feel like that's the play here.
I don't think there's a ton of goals in this. I think it may be like a 1-0 Arsenal win. But I just feel like they're getting Saliba back. I think their defense is enough. Even with
last year, Newcastle did win this match 1-0 at St. James's Park. 1-0, I guess. So there's that. And Arsenal hasn't been playing away really well this year.
No, but I did just see Newcastle struggle to score against Chelsea, who doesn't have the defense that Arsenal has.
Correct. So I expect a low-scoring game. So I really like a 1-0 win here for Arsenal. I think that's kind of where I feel. And I wanted – I'm looking at that Saka expected assist, and it's still number 1 in the Premier League. And he has 7 so far this year.
He does. Did not get one last time we bet him to have one, though.
The problem is who's going to be on the other end of that.
Correct. That's my concern is if you're assisting, you have to have somebody else you're giving it to score.
Because Kai Havertz, I mean, he's disappears at time. He has 4 goals this year, but who else would be there? So I think they're going to play Saka more as be the guy that they funnel through in this one.
How about this? We could take the under 2.5 at plus 102.
I like the under 2.5, and then I like Arsenal to win.
That's not a terrible combo.
Mm-hmm.
There.
And I want to see what the market is for goal. It's probably going to be minus to see player markets here. Player assist is if he has 1 assist, you could get it at plus 300 for Saka. So they're thinking the same thing we are. They're thinking that they're going to run it through him because that would make a lot of sense because you got Martinelli, right? Harvitz, who I hate, by the way. And then Declan Rice, obviously, who's
there.
I'd rather
take Saka to score at plus 240.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning on. But what scares me because I think he's going to end up being the assist guy.
Yeah, so, I don't know if we're taking the goal contribution bets this week. I'm more comfy with the Arsenal money line at minus 105 and under 2.5 at plus 102.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do that because I don't know how
I think it's just a tight game, and I don't know where the goals come from Arsenal on a week to week. They kind of change things up every week. They don't have a guaranteed score. Like, Newcastle, you have a pretty good idea. It's either coming from Gordon or Isak. One of the two of them is putting it in.
Okay, let's put those two down and go on to the next one, which I found interesting when I was doing the research for this yesterday. This is the lowest odds in a non-top 4 matchup Man City has had all season long.
Yeah, I mean,
minus 180 at Bournemouth, and Bournemouth's been troubling people lately.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Bournemouth knocked off Arsenal, and they got under their skin so much the dude committed a red card for the first time in his career.
Yeah,
I kind of want to go with the draw.
Me too. I was just gonna say I kind of like the draw here.
Plus 340 is kind of ridiculous for a draw, but Man City's form is not. I mean, they beat Southampton 1-0. Southampton. And Bournemouth is a top 10 side.
Yeah, right now. I mean, they're playing defensively really well.
Yeah.
Bournemouth. And, I'm looking at the stats right now, and it's let's see, last year, this fixture was 1-0 Man City.
Yeah. And they had a full side.
Yeah, they did.
Although they may not have had De Bruyne because De Bruyne missed.
Yeah, you're right.
Season.
So I'm kind of with you here.
Not to mention that going to like Vitality Stadium can throw people off.
Yeah, let's just make this the show draw, and let's just only do that bet on this one.
Correct. I don't really like anything else in that.
We'll move on. We're just going to get the top 3 out of the way real quickly, I guess. This one's a very intriguing one. That the best odds for anybody this week is Liverpool hosting Brighton, which is surprising. But Brighton again, their home and away splits are
correct. They are way better at home than they are on the road, and they've been struggling a little bit.
They have kind of come down to earth from when they were.
I think it's the same thing that happened to Spurs last year, where you come in with a new system. Fabian Herzler runs a similar system too, and she's just younger and more adept at changing some stuff. But, people don't necessarily have the book on you, and you've made some key changes to the players on your squad. So the first several weeks, nobody really has a book, and then somebody starts to figure you out a little bit, and things slow down. Not saying Brighton is a terrible team all of a sudden, but they're certainly running out of steam. But I also don't want to take Liverpool at minus 245.
No. So if we had to do a pick, obviously I'm looking at the overs and unders, and over 2.5 is minus 250, minus 240. I don't like that. So I'm kind of looking at the 3.5 here. And wondering, could this be one of those goal or games that's 3-2 Liverpool? I mean, these two teams have had higher scoring games in the past playing each other. But then again, it was a different system. So this is the one game I really did not know how to play.
I could see it being like 3-1 Liverpool.
Now, Liverpool to win by 2 goals plus 350.
Plus 350?
Mm-hmm. Liverpool to win by 2 goals. So they have to win it can't be more than 2 goals, just correct. 2 goals. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we do that? And then also the over 3.5.
And then check this out. Liverpool to win by 1 goal plus 300. So we kind of balance it out. If they win by 1, we got it. If they win by 2, we got it. Now, if they go all haywire, we're screwed. Win by 3 goals is plus 500, but then there's no value in that.
Correct.
Right.
And then we'll go over 3.5 at plus 104.
Yeah.
That way, if it winds up being like a 2-2 draw, we're still covered and we still hit plus money.
Correct. Like it. I like it. I like it. Let's move on.
And by the way, folks, we'll be splitting the units on that.
Correct.
By 2 and by 1. So
Correct.
It's only a half a unit we're betting on each of those.
Correct.
Just to clarify.
All right. We head to the City Ground in Nottingham Forest. West Ham, big win. Yes. Coming in. What do you make of this? It's your team. You tell me.
I don't like seeing Nottingham Forest favored to win by at plus 115. I don't like seeing that.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're definitively the better team. I just think table-wise they are because they got off to a quick start in West Ham.
Talent-wise, they're not. Talent-wise, they are not the better team. West Ham.
They're pretty even talent-wise. I will say.
But these are some of the lowest draw odds too of.
They are. They're not great draw odds either. Which is just puts you in a pickle, to be honest.
Well, do we go with the hot hand and anytime goal scorer? We go with our boy.
I mean,
plus
the dude is scoring
200%
of their goals.
Plus 200 for Chris Wood to score.
I mean, I'm gonna take that. I just don't know if I'm adding anything else to it.
We may not. We just watch the game and hope that he scores.
Yeah.
My favorite, if I had to pick him, this is one of my favorites of a draw. It's not my draw of the week, but one of my favorites.
It is one of my favorites on a draw too. I don't really want to do a second show draw.
Yeah, so let's just take Wood to score and have a good time. Let's just do it.
But I also don't know if I have another contender for a draw that I.
Oh, I do, and it's coming up next.
Okay, well, that's good. Also, Forest hasn't been like super dominant at home either.
Yeah, again, the whole year they've been irking out these 1-0 wins.
Yeah, they haven't. I don't think they've won a home.
This is the Forest formula. Hold your ground, give the ball to Wood, let Wood score his goal, and then we're going to sit back and not let them score a goal.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make this my draw.
Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. But we're still taking the Wood plus 300 goal.
Yeah.
All right. You ready? Which I think is going to be an absolute stinker. Here's my draw of the week. Ipswich, Leicester. Plus 260. DraftKings, this is my draw of the week. Everything in this matchup smells draw.
You said it's plus 250?
Plus 260. Sorry.
Plus 260.
Yeah. I mean, you have to look at this and just, it's ugly. It's ugly. Now, they haven't played each other since 2001.
Which, doesn't even, I mean, there's guys that are going to be playing in this game who weren't even born.
Correct. The last time these two teams played each other. However, going through it, these two teams only have 1 clean sheet.
Correct.
A piece. So I do expect there could be goals here. But everything else is very equal, man. In this one, these are 2 teams that I had going down in our picks. Average goals per match, Leicester just outdoes Ipswich a little bit, but I mean, obviously those goals Ipswich just had kind of helped that rise a little bit in one game. Average goals conceded is there as well. I'm just looking at this and I'm saying Portman Road, so Ipswich is home.
Yep.
1-1 draw. So this is my draw of the week.
That's what you're going with is
This is my draw of the week at plus 260 there. I don't like the totals. I mean, yeah, you're going to sit there at 2.5 and wonder over or under. And the under 2.5 is plus money, but plus 115.
But we've also seen both of these teams can score when needed.
It could end up being 2-2. I don't like it. I'm just taking
both of them have put up 3 goals in one of their last 2 games.
Correct.
So what are the anytime, like, do we have like Delp and
I'm not touching that market in this one either.
no?
No.
Well,
Is it?
you just want the draw and get
I
out of
just
here.
want the draw. I could see this being 0-0, and then we lose. Like I just
Delp and Vardy are both plus 220 and plus 240 respectively.
I'm
for
so
an
sick of Vardy, man. I'm so sick of Vardy. So sick of Vardy. How old is he
the
now?
only person who doesn't like Jamie Vardy.
He still wears a stupid arm cast or hand cast. He doesn't even need it. Running around out there with his hand wrapped for what? No hands in football. But if you want to do it, whatever. But no.
I'll toss in one for Delp anytime goal at plus 220.
All right, there you go. One of those hits were plus money on the game, anyways.
Yeah.
If they both hit, we're good. Here it is. Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. We're going to St. Mary's Stadium, baby, where Southampton is going to beat, not draw, not lose. Southampton is going to beat Everton.
You know what? I can get on board as the guy who took Southampton to beat Man U a few weeks ago.
This is a little bit easier of a market here.
I mean, Everton and Man U are basically in the same spot in the table, so is it any different?
Mm-hmm. Southampton has beaten Everton in 3 straight games, going back to 2021. They don't match up well, and Everton, this is going to be it. Southampton's going to be off the schneid here. Southampton win, straight up. Give me that at, what's the best odds for that? Plus 160. Yep. Although a lot of people will probably be picking this as a draw, but I am not. I think Southampton at home.
2.5 is even money.
Southampton.
Under 2.5 is even money.
Yeah, but look at when these two teams play, man, there are goals scored. 2-1 Southampton, 1-2 Everton, 2-0, 3-1. Yeah, that's why it's right there. It's either going to be 3 or 2, right? So that's kind of right where it needs to be with these two. They're never a clean sheet. So
over 2.5 is minus 124, which I don't really like.
I don't like that either. Well, I think Southampton to win. I don't like the totals. Southampton to win by 1 goal plus 350.
I mean, technically they have to win by 1.
Yeah, but if they win by 2, then it's plus 650. But I'm not going to that.
So plus 350. We'll take the plus 350 by 1 goal, right?
Yeah, Southampton to win by 1. Now we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot though with that, because it's really not leveraging one or the other, right? But
yeah, but if they both hit, if they win 2-1, then you hit both, and then it's great. If they win 2-0, then you hit one, and you kind of lost a little bit, but not.
Yeah, fair. Okay, let's move on from this matchup because that's
going to kill you.
Way more than we should have talked about it. Speaking of another matchup I don't want to talk about, and this one I think we don't make a pick at all.
Really?
Unless this is your draw of the week, but Wolves, Crystal Palace.
I already took my draw of the week. It was Forest again.
Oh yeah. This is exactly. This is.
You know what? You know what? I'm going Crystal Palace to win.
I like it. Wolves have the worst defensive record in
the Premier
worst
League. Defense. Palace is coming off not only beating Tottenham in league play, they also just went to Villa and beat Villa in the Carabao Cup.
The lowest average goals scored per match, Crystal Palace, 0.67.
Yep. I mean, that's how you lose a lot of games.
Yeah, they do have 2 clean sheets. 0 clean sheets for Wolves, obviously.
They kept a clean sheet last week against Tottenham.
Average goals conceded per match. This is bad for Wolves. 2.7. They're almost giving. We played 9 games, and they've almost given up 3 goals on average a game.
Well, didn't Chelsea hung 6? I think Man City hung 5.
Yeah. It's.
Let's see for curiosity. What are the overs and unders here? Over 2.5 is minus 111.
Yeah, they're expecting goals. I mean,
Here,
I like
Getty
Crystal
goes up.
Palace winning this game.
The under 2.5 is -110. The over 2.5 is -111.
Yeah. Now this is Crystal Palace away though. That's never a good thing.
No, but I think they
again, they're literally going to play the Panthers, the NFL Panthers. They're going to play them if they were a Premier League team.
I'll take Ezzy for an anytime goal at +300.
All right, if you want to throw that in there along with the Crystal Palace win, I'm okay with it.
There you go. See, I talked you into 2 bets. How about that?
Yeah, I was never going to take Wolves. I would lean Crystal Palace, but all right, we got
figured it out.
We got 2 bangers. Well, one of them was going to be a banger until we ran out of hogs. But
maybe it'll be another. Maybe it'll be a better banger with.
More on that later. I am taking the over of that one, but let's talk about Tottenham Aston Villa first.
Why is Tottenham favorite?
Is the favorite at -110 or 115. Aston Villa +260 +255 is kind of where it's at. The draw is +300, so they're expecting a Tottenham win here. It's your team. I want you to tell me why I should bet Tottenham to win at -110, or just say I'm an idiot to do it because I like Aston Villa in this matchup.
I mean, Tottenham is figuring things out, but it's like a week-to-week basis. As I just went over, like there's no confidence there that they can string together. I mean, I know they've won 8 out of their last 10 in all competitions, but a couple of those were championship league sides. A couple of them were like
Villa did win 2-1 in this matchup last year.
Yeah, Villa beat them, I think, twice last year.
No, Spurs won 4-0.
Right.
At Villa Park. So they traded blows away.
Right. That was the game they had to have, and then they lost to, I think, West Ham in the game.
Yeah.
They also had that. I would love to believe that Tottenham can show up and beat Villa at home.
Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to figure out why in this game that Solanke is the top odds for goal scorer.
Dude hasn't had a shot on target in 6 games.
Yeah, he's +145.
I'm not exaggerating that stat either. He hasn't had a shot on frame in 6 games.
Before we do anything, just go ahead and write in Aldi Watkins +185 for me. Okay. Thank you.
That's almost a guarantee. Yeah. Actually, I can do you one better. I see him at +190.
Yeah, take that. That's fine.
So yeah, we'll take that because the Tottenham defense is going to let him score.
You have no faith in Tottenham.
I mean, I know defensively they've been pretty good, but like they have these lapses that are just like so high school level mistakes. They're like the Yankees in the 5th inning last night. Like they just should not happen at a professional level.
Now, do you like over 3.5 at +110? This one.
God, it should. To be honest, it should. Right? There should be goals in this game.
Yeah, I'm not leaning to any fence. I think any one of these teams can win. It could also draw. Correct. I really just think there's going to be over 3.5.
I think it depends on how long Tottenham stays focused for. To be 100% honest, like if they play the whole game like they played the first half at Brighton, I don't think Villa stands a chance.
Mm.
If they can muster the strength and battle and whatnot that they did against Man City, who tried to out-physical them and then it didn't work, great. But if they just go, oh, we just need a breather because we've played 2 games in 4 days and here comes another one, it could be like another Crystal Palace. Like, I don't know.
Very much could be here. I'm trying to look at some stats here. I want to go let's say goals with these 2 teams because I don't think Aston Villa's scored as many as we thought, but they have. They've scored 16. They're 7th. And then Tottenham's at 4th with 18. So they're 2 away. I'm over 3.5 and Aldi Watkins goal. Those are my picks in this.
Right. So Tottenham is averaging 2 goals a game.
And then Aston Villa's right below that. Yeah. So it's there. It's there. Let's take over.
I'll take the over at +118.
And give me my Aldi Watkins. And if you want to sprinkle anything else, and you go right ahead.
I don't know if I can take the Spurs negative money.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
No, I don't have. I mean,
Let's just go the over with Ollie Watkins.
yep, that's fine.
All right.
I don't know who's scoring for Spurs either. They're kind of in a mode where, like, I mean, heck, Pape Sarr didn't start the game on. Did he? No, he did. He started the game. He had a remarkable bender on Wednesday, but I don't know where the hell that came from. To be honest,
Which means it'll disappear this weekend, like
Brennan
typical
Johnson's been
Tottenham.
real close to scoring like 4 goals,
I
4
know,
games in
I
a row
know,
now. They've
I
gone off
know.
the post.
That guy's hit more wood than a hammer.
Yeah. I mean,
Chelsea.
Timo scored and then he missed 3 open nets. So
Sounds like Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Man U. Man U, obviously, we talked about it. Ruud van Nistelrooy steps in. It's the head coach replacing Ten Hag.
On an interim basis, because they already have their guy. He's getting there the end of
Correct.
the November.
Dead even. They are both plus 160.
This makes
Chelsea,
no sense.
Man U. What do you got here? Because I'll tell you what I got.
I think I got Chelsea winning.
Me too. Okay, we're on the same page.
I haven't seen anything from Man U that suggests that they can, like, because when it comes down to it, Chelsea can just sit there and bang out 4 or 5 goals. I don't see that happening from
now. Historically, as well, this is a very, very high scoring matchup.
Correct.
However, Man U just not scoring any damn goals this year.
No,
but could this be? And we see this happen all the time. There's a coaching change. Maybe a lot of the players weren't on Ten Hag's side, and they're like, "This is one of those games where Ruud just lets them be themselves, be free," and they score 3 goals. I mean, we see this all the time. Just go down to just basic football, play basic football as a team, and we see this all the time. And it's a goal explosion. That's kind of how I think this is going to go.
But I still think that Chelsea has the more talented side right now.
They do. And the most expensive side, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, when you got to sell a hotel to get yourself free of.
And it is a way, and it's at Old Trafford, but Old Trafford has been the theater of nightmares for Manchester United this year. They have been terrible at home. They've been one of the worst home records in the Premier League. And there's teams that haven't won a game.
Yeah.
So my favorite pick here, you like Chelsea. I like over 3.5 in this one as well.
Okay.
Going back in time when these two teams battle, 4-3 last year, 2-1, 4-1. Chelsea's been scoring goals lately. Man U hasn't, but I have a feeling they're going to play basic football, backyard football, and that usually coaches don't know how to defend that because they have a scheme, right, based on what they've seen, and it's just going to be loose and open. I think this game is going to be very open, back and forth, and there's going to be a lot of goals. So,
yeah, I'm also going to toss in a little bit of money on the over 4.5.
Yeah, I ladder it. Let's ladder that. Let's ladder it.
Yeah. So we've got over 3.5 at plus 115, and we're sprinkling a little on over 4.5 at plus 275.
Yeah.
Because if it's another 3-2 banger, that's 5 goals. That's over 4.5, and we just.
And I think it's going to be one. I think it's going to be one of those matchups. I see this all the time, and it just has.
That way, if it ends like 3-1 or 4-0, which I don't think it's going to do.
No.
We're still hitting on the over 3.5, and then if we ladder it, we'll hit both of them. So
yeah, it's going to be a very open game. I have a feeling. So just based on that, it's like you got again new interim coach. The coach knows he's not going to be there at the end of the season. He's just kind of there. He's just going to let them play backyard fun soccer, and that's going to open up things. Chelsea, it's going to open up their back. So Chelsea's going to have to score. We'll score. They'll have a lot of chances, and it's just going to be one of those. So there you go. There you have it. Go Ruud van Nistelrooy. Let's keep Man U from being relegated, please. However, that would be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. We do have one more game. Yes, and it's my new favorite team. I'm going to Jersey on the way. Brentford is.
You know what's funny is when I was first getting into Premier League, I quite liked their logo, like the bees or whatever.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It is kind of cool, but then I didn't like half the roster at the time.
They're great. They're fun. Like, yeah,
they are fun now that Ivan Toney, they're more rootable now that Ivan Toney.
Yeah, And they're playing as a team. Like, you don't know which guy is gonna. It was a Damsgaard.
Buemo's
been fantastic. 8 goals this season.
Yeah, that guy's been ridiculous.
I like him, and he is, by the way. Go ahead and put that down. Yeah.
And I think
especially knowing he's the penalty taker, right?
Yeah.
This is a stat I found. Yes, Fulham is very good at home, but they also give up a lot of penalties at home.
Yes, they do.
So give me Buemo anytime goal. I got to find it, but I'm not on that matchup yet. But I like that, my pick. And I hate doing it. I hate doing it at.
I'm taking Brentford to win.
Me too. I know it's at Craven Cottage, and that's a big no-no because Fulham's been really good at home. But when you're getting, what the hell? And their favorite, they're plus 260, plus 245, plus 250 for Brentford. It's just too good, especially since they've been just rolling over people.
Correct.
Goal scored wise, they're scoring 2 goals a match. I mean, that's up there with some of the best teams in the league. They had a 5-3 win against Wolves, obviously. They're scoring goals and they're fun. So it's a very defensive team in Fulham. You can't pick a goal scorer out. I don't like the totals over and under. I like Brentford winning and Remo getting a penalty kick goal. That's kind of where I think this is going to go.
That works for me. I'm trying to see. Oh, at halftime. Let's see what the odds at halftime.
I have them right here.
Brentford's plus 300 to be winning at halftime.
It is at Craven Cottage. Fulham does not give up a lot of goals at home. I don't think Fulham's ready for Brentford. Their speed on the outside and everything that they have, but I mean they hung in there with Man U at home. Like it's
well, okay, but hanging in with Man U is not like
a
badge of honor anymore.
I like Brentford and the Bremo goal as my pick, but if you want to add any halves or totals, which I don't like the totals either because Brentford could put in 4, but then it could also win 1-0 in this one.
Sure.
I don't know how Fulham is going to score a goal. I think they will in this game. If I had to guess what the final score would be, I would say it would be 2-1. Brentford would be where I would think it would be, which is right around that 3 mark, which is right about the 2.5, which is right where there's no value. So it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to stress that. But I do think Brentford wins, and they do score goals and at Craven Cottage, which has not been easy to do.
Yeah, I think we can get interesting with this game because I do quite like Raul Jimenez to score for Fulham too. He's going off at plus 205.
Yeah, you can throw that in there because even though Brentford has been fun to watch, they've been leaky at the back, right? Yeah, they gave up goals to Ipswich. But they've been scoring a lot of goals. So I will take that. By the way, Buemo, I don't know what the goal scorer. He is, by the way, second in the Premier League in goals this year for Brentford.
Ah, that's who was second. I knew Wood was third, and
Wood is tied with Cole Palmer for third. But yeah it is Buemo. So
he's going off at plus 260
for a goal
for anytime goal.
The second leading goal scorer in the Premier League, who has almost a goal per match, is going at plus 360. You said
plus 260.
260.
Yes.
Put that down, and as quick as you can because that is going to be going away.
Brentford leading at halftime at plus 300 because they've been leading in 5 of their last 6 games at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So, not a whole lot. I mean, I know Fulham's been good, but Brentford is on some kind of run right now, so we're gonna kind of back them.
We're gonna back it. I mean, again, how could we not? So there you go. Let's look at anything else we want to look at here before we call it a day.
Our most bet game.
That one was.
Yes,
of course it was.
Everything else had like 2.
Of course it was. Of course it was. The Monday game is that the Monday game?
Yes, it is. It's the Monday game.
Yeah, and that's going to be a better matchup than the Monday Night Football game. That's for sure.
Probably. That's probably true.
However, it's on at noon on my time, so I get to watch it during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to this week. I think we made a lot of smart picks. And then we have one more week we'll be on next week, and then we have a international break. If anything happens, like happened last international break, and Matt Selz wants to come on here and rant, this is the Rants Network after all, we'll probably do a show during that time as well. Which, by the way, that show where you just yelled about Ange for half an hour got some hits, man. People were giving you some thumbs up on that one. So Tottenham has your back on that.
It's a very mixed fan base right now. That's what I have spent my week realizing, is that the fan base is very unsure of Ange. There are people who are very let this project play out, and we should let him have like at least another year after this to sort it out. And then there are people that are like, 18 months in, I can figure this isn't going anywhere, so let's just cut bait.
Yeah, I do want to mention, too, that Brentford is also tied for third in total goals scored this season as well. So they are, like we said, putting in the back of the net. So this is a trap game for people. I bet a lot of people are backing Fulham just based on their home record.
Just because their home record's pretty good.
And they've only given up 12 goals total all season. I think that's third best. It's more than they're right in the middle of the table on that. So this is go Brentford, baby.
Yeah, Brentford, by the way, has scored 18, but they've also given up 18.
Yeah, that's why I think this is going to be 2-1.
Yeah.
So
the only teams that have given up more goals than Brentford are Southampton, Ipswich, and Wolves.
Yes. Southampton is going to win. Southampton is going to win. Yes, they've only scored 6 goals all season. The worst, tied with Crystal Palace. You know who's third? Man U.
Yeah. It's so bad.
Crystal Palace 6, Southampton 6. So they're tied for first, or worst, I guess. And Manchester United has only scored 8 goals. And then Newcastle, Ipswich, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Fulham, Wolves. Wow.
Yeah, Forest at 11 is what? They're 5 ahead of Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So they're equidistant from Brighton and Villa to Crystal Palace.
It's gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun weekend. I know it. So let's go, Southampton. Beat them Evertonians, Toffs, whatever the hell they call themselves over there.
Toffees.
Yeah, whatever they call themselves, a block away from Anfield.
They used to play in and then gave it up because of a rent dispute.
Yeah. What can you do? And let's go, Brentford. They're going to win. We know it. It's going to be fun to watch. Enjoy your Premier League weekend, everybody. I'm going to get this up as soon as I can today. And we will carry on my wayward son. From Matt Selz, I'm Edward Raus. We'll see you next week on Keeping It EPL.